Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers warned to avoid All-American cornerback in first round of NFL draft. Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama is one of the top-rated cornerback prospects in the 2024 NFL draft. But Bleacher Report's Alex Ballentine argued he shouldn't be a consideration for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round. Ballentine lamented that the Steelers need to target a player to improve their offense at number 20 overall. So, he named McKinstry the one prospect the Steelers must avoid in the draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers may be tempted to pair the Alabama product with Joey Porter Jr. if he's still on the board at number 20, wrote Ballentine. However, the Steelers were 10th in passer rating allowed last season with a combination of Porter, Patrick Peterson and Levi Wallace manning the cornerback spots. Meanwhile, the offense was 28th in scoring and 23rd in EPA per play, in part because their offensive line wasn't up to snuff. The Steelers could stand to add upgrades at both left tackle and center. Given the quality of this draft class at both positions, it would be bad resource management to pass on someone like Amarius Mims or even Jackson Powers-Johnson in favor of McKinstry. McKinstry was one of college football's top cornerbacks during the 2023 season. He made first-team All-America at multiple media outlets, including the Associated Press. Over his career at Alabama, McKinstry recorded 23 pass defenses, 2 interceptions and 93 total tackles, including 5 tackles for loss. He also had 2 sacks. The crux of Ballentine's argument for why the Steelers should avoid McKinstry doesn't really have anything to do with him. Instead, he simply argued Pittsburgh should address its offense at number 20. Based on the team's recent offensive performance, it's hard to argue with that thought. The Steelers haven't finished better than 23rd in total offense since 2018. Ballentine mentioned offensive tackle Amarius Mims and center Jackson Powers-Johnson as preferable targets for the Steelers. Offensive linemen Graham Barton, J.C. Latham and Troy Fautanu are other prospects who could upgrade Pittsburgh's offensive line. If the Steelers found a starting right tackle at number 20 overall, they could flip 2023 first-rounder Broderick Jones back to his more natural left tackle. That would send incumbent left tackle Dan Moore Jr., who is entering the final year of his rookie contract, to the bench. But the Steelers could also use a top-tier center. Pittsburgh doesn't have any centers on its current 2024 roster. Ballentine made no mention of McKinstry's foot injury. But one could argue the ailment is another reason the Steelers should avoid the Alabama cornerback. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported that doctors at the NFL Combine found a Jones fracture in McKinstry's right foot. As a result, McKinstry didn't work out at the Combine. Jones fractures typically happen because of increased training or pressure on one's feet. The fracture occurs on the pinky toe side of the foot. The good news, though, is that on April 10, Rappaport reported McKinstry is on track for a full recovery, which typically takes 6 to 8 weeks. Because McKinstry's surgery was in March, he could be completely healthy by rookie minicamps. Even still, if Ballentine was picking for the Steelers, he made it clear he wouldn't select the Alabama cornerback. NFL Draft Preview, inspired by Micah Parsons, Penn State duo trying to make mark as pass rushers. It's fitting that Chop Robinson's draft bio on the NFL website compares him to Dallas Cowboys star defender Micah Parsons. Although they played different positions at Penn State, they have enough similar traits that personnel execs believe Robinson can follow in Parsons' footsteps and excel as an NFL pass rusher. Robinson, like the former Nittany Lions linebacker, carries a first-round grade heading into the NFL Draft, which begins Thursday. He may not be the number 12 overall pick like Parsons was in 2021 or emerge as a 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year finalist, but Robinson is viewed as one of the top edge rushers in his class. Robinson played defensive end during his 2 years at Penn State. He played at Maryland as a freshman, but his 6'3", 254-pound frame suggests a future at outside linebacker in the NFL. From a size perspective, Robinson is the same height and 9 pounds heavier than what is listed in Parsons' bio. He's got the elite get-off speed and big-time burst, NFL Network analyst Daniel Jeremiah said. For me, it's some of the finishing things that need improving, just being able to get the quarterback and finish, being a little more under control. A first-time Big Ten selection, Robinson didn't light up the stats sheet in his junior season, accumulating 4 sacks on 7.5 tackles for loss in 10 games. He was more productive as a sophomore when he had 5.5 sacks and 10 tackles for loss while playing in 2 more games. At Penn State, Robinson never crossed paths with Parsons, who turned pro after opting out of the COVID-shortened 2020 season. Still, he views Parsons as a mentor. He's very relentless and consistent with everything he does, Robinson said at the NFL Combine. I try to pattern my game after his. The two kept in touch during the college season with Robinson saying that Parsons imparted some helpful advice. We talked more about life, having a routine and being mentally free when you play, Robinson said. If you're mentally stressed about everything, you won't be able to be the player you want to be and play fast. Robinson isn't the only Penn State edge rusher in this year's draft class who holds Parsons in high esteem. And Adisa Aiyuk, who is a projected second-day pick, had his college career overlap with Parsons. They were teammates in 2019 when Aiyuk was a freshman. I got to see what he does in practice and the mentality he has going into games, Aiyuk said. That has stuck with me as I've gone through my career. But what he's done in the NFL has been amazing. I'm glad to see that as a defensive end I can steal some of the tricks of the trade. He's a great player, and I try to pick up some of his moves. The 6'4", 247-pound Aiyuk missed the 2021 season because of a torn Achilles. He returned in 2022 to lead Penn State with 11 tackles for loss. He opted to return for his senior season and led the Nittany Lions with 16 tackles for loss and 7.5 sacks. Getting that second year removed from my injury really helped me, and I got the reps I needed to get back in the groove, Aiyuk said. I feel better and got my confidence back as a player. That has set me apart from where I was last year. Why the Steelers probably won't trade for Brandon Aiyuk. If the 49ers trade Brandon Aiyuk this offseason, the Steelers are the odds-on favorite to land him, but they shouldn't be. You can understand why they are the favorite. They need a wide receiver to replace Deontay Johnson. They reportedly have interest in Aiyuk and he seems to have interest in them too, considering he tweeted at their head coach, Mike Tomlin, a month ago. But I highly doubt the Steelers will end up with Aiyuk, and here's why. First, it will take a first-round pick to trade for him, and the Steelers clearly don't want to part with theirs. It would be embarrassing for the 49ers to trade him for a second-round pick, so they won't. They don't want that heat. So the Steelers would have to up their offer, which they're unlikely to do because they're not desperate. They don't fire head coaches or general managers. No one's job is on the line. They can afford to be patient and acquire a wide receiver at a reasonable price. In addition, their quarterbacks are Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Which means they don't have a prolific passing attack. They're built to run the ball, like the 49ers. So they would not come close to taking full advantage of Aiyuk's skill set. So why pay him almost $30 million per season? If the 49ers trade Aiyuk during the draft, expect them to trade him to a team whose head coach or general manager is under pressure to win next season. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.